So Anna, last time we were meeting we started to draw some of the patterns that have been happening that get in the way of what you want to do. And I wondered whether we could recap that and then maybe see if we could draw the other part of the pattern that we didn't get time to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we started with this idea that you like feeling in control and your work is like that. You need to be in charge of things, you need to have everything contained and organised, and that works really well.
Yeah.
So you like being at this end of the pattern, and when things get out of control, that's pretty scary. And sometimes that's because you've had an interaction with your partner or something's gone wrong at work. That makes you feel pretty bad. And then we kind of see this pattern starting. You want to feel better, you binge. That makes you feel bad then. So it's kind of a feel better, feel worse, feel better, feel worse, and it kind of keeps going round and round. How are you feeling about looking at that now?
Well, that's the stuff that I want to stop, that I want to change. Yeah, I don't like that. That's not who I want to be or who I think I am.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that it's really great that you've come in to talk about that, but also the talking actually is hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to, I'd rather pretend that's not happening.
Yeah. And when you want to stay in control, the very idea or the very talking about it being out of control is hard and makes you feel unsafe.
Yeah.
And I guess I wanted to have a think with you about how we manage that, because in our relationship together, we're kind of potentially going to go backwards and forwards in this pattern ourselves, aren't we? Because even me mentioning these things makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, and it might feel like I'm taking control. So it's really important to remember that you've come here because you want to change that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like talking about this, but if I have to in order to be more in control myself, then that's okay.
Yeah. And when I hear that, I get a little bit worried, because I think in some ways it's going to be really hard to ever find perfect control over things. That always, as soon as we get there, there's the suggestion or the risk that things actually aren't that way. You know, a slight wrinkle in the plan, and then that becomes a catastrophe that's out of control for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then that's why I'm here, because I want to avoid that stuff. And yeah, find those ways to just be more in control.
Yeah.
And most of the time I am, and that's most of the time it's working. Yeah.
And I wonder whether the very extremes of these positions, the imperfect control or in complete disarray, chaos, out of control, whether the very nature of those being so extreme means that actually there's no middle ground for you. I wonder what that... Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't want that middle ground. I feel good when I'm in control. And I feel, so when I'm restricting my food, that feels good. I'm in control, it's fine.
And that's a bit of a pattern that we were going to draw today, isn't it? So I wonder if we start that. So what do you think triggers that? You just said then...
I guess if I'm not feeling great, one way to feel in control is, not to eat so much.
So that might be a way of getting control back?
Yeah, but then,
So if I write try to gain control, and then we put the way you do that is to restrict, is this okay?
Yeah. And that works for me.
Yeah. Well, you've immediately jumped from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what happens when you do restrict, if that goes round and round and you end up restricting a lot, what happens then?
Not a lot. So I'm fine with not eating too much. Yeah, we're all different, and I don't need so much food, so yeah, it feels good.
And you talked about really liking the empty feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I imagine makes you feel kind of powerful as well, yeah. Or in control, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in control, and yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm. Is there ever a point where it doesn't work for you?
It's only other people who sometimes say that that's a problem.
Have you ever been to hospital for being underweight?
No, sometimes though people threaten to do that, but
what
I'm
does
fine.
that feel like when they threaten that?
That's difficult. That makes me pretty angry. That's been like arguments with Steve have been around that when he.
This is your partner.
Yeah.
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 So there's something that happens if you were to restrict too much, then something happens where other people seem to start to step in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And are you saying that they're then taking over? Is that?
Yeah, it's like they don't want me to be in control of my body, and they start trying to be forceful around what I need to do, and I can't get it through to them that I'm fine.
And has anything bad ever happened when you've eaten too little?
Like the worst thing is that I fainted. Lots of people faint now and again. It was hot. So no, I'm fine with it.
You feel like they were overreacting?
Yeah.
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 But I'm guessing you know quite a lot about eating disorders and the consequences of people starving themselves.
But I also know that everybody's different.
Yeah.
We are all biologically a bit different, and the vomiting, that's not good for me, and I know that's bad for my teeth, and there's problems with my health. If I continue to do that, that's why I want to stop that side of things. But the restricting, no, it's fine.
So I'm just wondering whether this ends up with others taking over and you feeling out of control again, like that. And whether this side of the diagram is kind of the out of control bit, which is what you want to change, and this is the in control bit, which you really want to hang on to.
Because I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Other people might not be,
Yeah.
but actually that's fine for me. I'm okay.
Yeah. Is it ever a downside in your relationship with Steve?
Well, like I said, he might threaten that I end up in hospital, threaten to take me to the GP, and he has, I guess, threatened to leave when we've had arguments about it.
So in a way, when you take control and engage in this pattern, it gets to the point where other people worry it's out of control, too controlling maybe, and they really want to step in or want you to stop, but you're feeling like you want to stay in charge, and there's quite a tension around that.
Yeah.
How much is okay? Yeah. Okay. I'm just wondering how we manage to talk about tricky things. How are we going now, and how does this feel?
It's okay, but I'm guess a bit worried that you're going to try and make me change this. And I'm saying I'm okay with that.
Saying no way, actually, aren't you?
And so if you're trying to make me shift that, you're just going to be another controlling person.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that my job would be just to force you, because that would definitely be me stepping in here, wouldn't it? And so I guess what I see my role is for you and I to be able to stand back from it, have a look from a new vantage point from out here, be able to look at what's happening, and for you to be able to have a think about what works for you and what doesn't. Would that be okay?
Yeah.